Welcome to the Well of Inspiration. Dawn and Wellington with you yet again for another week and another session where we hope to motivate you and inspire you and help you take different elements of yourself, whether it's your personal life, your business, to the next level of success. So if it's somebody that you know who really needs to listen to motivational content that can actually touch them and actually help them change the direction that they want to go into and put them in the forefront, this is the platform for you. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification button so that every time there's something new coming on the Well of Inspiration, you are first to get it. Joining me again is Wellington. Hi, Wellington. Hope you're doing good.
Hey, Don, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing fantastic. Yourself?
Very, very good. I'm doing very well. I'm not complaining at all.
Fantastic stuff. All right, Wellington, today I know you've got something on the table about wisdom. Let's share with the audience
Absolutely.
what it is about wisdom you're talking about today.
You know what? I'm an advocate for people to recognize that life is always work in progress. We are all works in progress. We're all trying to get better. Sometimes we fall, sometimes we rise, and then we get back on the grind and try to do the things that we need to do. But you know what happens is that we all go through these testing times, where because of the testing times, we have to look at ourselves and reevaluate, see where we are, where we want to go, and what we really need to do. And we don't lose our personal intentions. We don't lose our personal goals, our dreams, the things that we have set our lives to achieve through our professions, through our relationships, through our vocations. Be it business, be it work, whatever we choose to do, we all have this amazing opportunity to constantly and consistently evolve and just get better. Now, in my observation, there's one particular ingredient that each and every one of us needs to embrace. If we are going to be going into the best versions of ourselves, achieve the greatest things that our lives can achieve, we need this particular ingredient, which I think is critical for us to be able to move our lives to that next level that makes all the difference in our lives. And that ingredient is wisdom. Now, wisdom can be, we can give a definition to it, but when you think about it, wisdom is that one thing that helps you to decide what to do and to do it the right way. We will go into the real definition of wisdom, but that's what I want us to talk about today, just looking at what we can do with wisdom and what wisdom can help us to achieve in our lives, and most importantly, how we can go about bringing wisdom into our lives and making it alive for us to find it useful in our everyday engagements, in our work, and most importantly, for the sake of us achieving our goals and our dreams that we have set ourselves to achieve.
Interesting subject, walking with wisdom. Wellington, I think this one is something that a lot of us need to learn about, walking with that wisdom, ensuring that you have the wisdom with you every step of the way, because it is so critical. Like you said, it is that ingredient that you really do need.
Absolutely. You know what? There's a difference between living your life by design and living your life by default. When you live your life by design, it means you are taking responsibility for making your life into that which you've set yourself to be. If we live life by default, then we're just rolling with the tide. Whatever comes, we just go with it. Whatever happens, we just then run with it. But what's important is that every morning when you wake up, if you are given the opportunity to rise up in the morning on any single day, you have another opportunity to turn your life in the right direction, the direction that moves you closer to where you want to be a person of value, a person of influence, a person who continues to contribute to your families, to your societies, and who continues to make a great difference in the world we're living in today. And it all comes together when we bring in wisdom into everything that we do. Now, some of you may be wondering, what is this thing called wisdom. What is it? I'm going to suggest to you a simple definition, or a simple, what I find to be a useful definition for wisdom. You may look around and find something else, but I believe that this is a very apt description of what wisdom is. And wisdom is the ability to think and act utilizing knowledge, experience, understanding, common sense, and your own very personal insight. If you're able to think and act, taking all these things into consideration, you create an environment where you are well informed, well prepared, well groomed to execute your tasks to the point of actually achieving what you've set yourself to achieve. That's very critical. So that's why I recommend that we all walk this path of life. We all journey, this journey we're on, we do it with wisdom. Recognize the importance of wisdom, but most importantly, bring wisdom into your day-to-day life and make wisdom part of your own existence.
Wellington, this is something that I think is so critical, bringing that wisdom and ensuring that you have that wisdom. Like you said, we all want to be people of influence and of value. And how do we attain that? It's by ensuring that we have that wisdom in place, knowing what to do and how to do it to move forward.
Absolutely. You know, one interesting thing about us as people is that when we are younger, when we're smaller, when we're coming up, there's this spurt of growth which we go through, where we are learning new things every day, where we are growing in wisdom, growing in our ability to do different things. This comes about because we are learning new things, we're exposing ourselves to situations that groom us, that allow us to grow. We've got people around us informing us, advising us, grooming us into the people that we can actually be. As a result, we have a massive level of growth in wisdom. But here's the thing. As we get older, we hit our 30s, our 40s, our 50s, we kind of get set in our ways. We get grounded in certain things and we want to stick with them. That's where the saying that when people say you can't teach an old horse new tricks, it is because of these kinds of situations where we have now become so set in our ways that we are no longer open to learning new things, to discovering new opportunities, discovering new ideas, new abilities we can receive in our own individual lives, but most importantly, new information that can transform how we live our lives and how we perform our day-to-day tasks. As a result, we miss the opportunity to grow. Remember, I said we are a continuous work in progress. Now, if you're no longer making the progress, you are now just a piece of work, not even a work in progress. Remember, we are always a work in progress, but the progress comes about when you are actually making progress in your day-to-day life, learning new things, discovering, uncovering, and learning and growing. When we do this stuff, we are then presenting ourselves with a better opportunity to be people of value, to be people of contribution, and most importantly, to achieve a fulfilling level of success, a fulfilling level of achievement. So here's the thing. Having wisdom is like having a master key. A key that you can use to unlock many doors. A key that you can use to unlock every door that you come across. It's called the master key. When you've got the master key, you're not worried about what kind of lock is on the door because you know that the master key will open the door no matter what. If you've got wisdom as one of your tools, you know that every door you want to open can be opened. You may be having the goal or the dream of starting your own business. With wisdom, you can start your own business. You may have the goal of making some changes in your relationships to make them better, to improve them to another level. With a certain level of wisdom, you can make that achievement. Okay, if you want to improve your knowledge by going to school, by getting yourself more educated with wisdom, you can actually go and make this happen. So, wisdom opens the different doors that will be useful for you to achieve everything that you want to achieve as an individual. That is the power of having wisdom as one of your tools.
Wellington, I like this. And I like how you put it. You know, wisdom is like having a master key. It opens all the doors that you need, because once you have that wisdom, that knowledge, like you say, it is the power that you need to actually take you to wherever you need to go. It doesn't matter what field you're in, as long as you're focused and you have the wisdom to carry you through, then this is what you need.
Absolutely, absolutely. So one thing that I like to say to people is that wisdom helps you to turn your setbacks into comebacks. Whenever you're going through something, and you are being set back, and you are trying to push forward, but something is holding you back. Sometimes all it takes is just an understanding that comes from your wisdom that teaches you how to transform that situation from a setback into a comeback, where you learn to do things differently, where you learn to do things better than you've done in the past, and therefore improve your chances of being progressive. An interesting thing about wisdom is that it also informs you not to continue recycling ways of doing things that have not worked in the past, behaviors that have not worked in the past, relationships that have not worked in the past, your own ways of doing things that have not worked in the past. You can be informed by wisdom to know how to handle these things differently.
Absolutely. So there you have it from Wellington. It's all about walking with wisdom. This is what we're covering right here on the Well of Inspiration. Do not go anywhere. We will be back. Welcome back to the Well of Inspiration. Today's subject is all about wisdom. And Wellington has actually given us a definition of wisdom. It is the ability to think and act utilizing knowledge, experience, understanding, common sense, and insight. And he says we are a continuous work in progress, but you have to put in that work to actually progress. So you have to ensure that you have that wisdom that you need, whichever field you're in. If you are in production, you need to know how to produce. You need to know all the different things that can make you stand out as a production house. You need to know all the different things that you can apply to make you grow. So these are the things that you need to focus on, and you get those things through wisdom, learning, allowing yourself to grow. If you want to be somebody of influence, somebody of value, wisdom is something that you need to carry with you. Wellington has also spoken about wisdom is having a master key. Now, having that master key allows you to open so many different doors that you would not have necessarily been able to open if you didn't have the wisdom that allows you to do so, that knowledge that allows you to do so. Wisdom helps you change your setback into a comeback. It allows you to go through that process of whatever mistakes you have made, you can learn differently. That wisdom allows you to know that I did it this way, I can change it, and things will be better. It could actually have a better outcome, a different outcome from what it's had so far. Wellington, back to you.
Thank you so much, John. Wonderful summary right there. So, look, here's the thing. As always, we try to make this show as practical as possible. Whatever information we give you, our desire is that the information we give you is something you can take practically and go apply it in your life and try to see how it works. We believe that this information can be very, very useful. I've gone through this information and I am learning a lot from it. And I believe that you will also benefit by just trying out some of the ideas we give you on this show. Now, whenever we talk about wisdom, the question comes, how then do we attain wisdom? How do we attain wisdom? What does it take? If I'm going to have some wisdom, what does it take for me to obtain wisdom? And when I think about this question, I always go back to the Chinese philosopher Confucius, who once said that by three methods we may learn wisdom. Number one, by reflection. Number two, by imitation. Number three, by experience. Okay? Reflection, imitation, and experience. Let's dive into them one by one. So reflection. John Dewey, who is one of a very popular author, his name is John Dewey. He's got a saying that I like, which says, "We do not learn from experience. We learn rather from our reflection of the experience." Experience in itself will not teach you anything if you do not reflect on the experience in order for you to really glean the important learnings from the experience. I've come to believe that reflection is a very critical part of our lives. Whatever you do every single day, make sure that you take the time to reflect on everything that's happening in your life. Think carefully, understand where things are going wrong. Think carefully and look for ideas of how things can be done better. Try new things. When you try new things, go back and think about them. Recognize the importance of reflection. Reflection can help you to really get an insight into what is really going on in your life and potentially what you can do differently. This is why I encourage each and every one of you to, at the end of your day, make sure before you get to bed, you've spent 5 minutes, 10 minutes looking back on your day. What went well? What didn't go well? What could have gone better? What could you have done differently? What opportunities did you miss? What can you do differently tomorrow? When you reflect and ask yourself these questions and you answer them honestly, you get into your mind very important information that becomes wisdom for the day that you will face the following day. Okay, it's very, very important. Henry Ford once said that failure gives you the opportunity to start again, but to start again more intelligently. But that intelligence only manifests when you then allow the experience to fester in your mind through your reflection. When you reflect, you see more. When you reflect, you look deeper. When you reflect, you go to the bottom of things. And when you go there, you will come up with gems that are important for you to use every single day of your life. That's reflection.
And that's interesting, Wellington, because I think reflection can allow us to see there are certain mistakes I think we make continuously. It's not something that you think about, but you can make them on a daily basis and you're trying to figure out why am I not progressing? But it's because you're not taking that time to reflect and see what those mistakes are and how you can change them. Because once you can actually identify the mistakes you've been making that are giving you the same results by reflecting, only then can things start changing for you.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you on that. And, reflection, one thing that I encourage everybody to do every day is journaling. When you reflect and take your observations, put them on paper, you are literally bringing them into real life. And when you bring them into real life, they even mean more to you and inform you even more as you reflect. Okay, so that's very critical. The next element is imitation. So imitation is not, I'm not trying to encourage you to be copycats. I know you're originals, but I'm saying to you that why don't you consider looking around you and seeing who is flourishing in the area that you've got an interest in. And then when you see that person, try and learn from them. Follow them. Understand what they do every single day. Discover what they do differently. Discover their strategies. Discover how they spend their time, how they interact with other people, what disposition they come with when they come with ideas or whatever they bring to the table. Learn from them. And wherever possible, imitate that in your own originality, in your own personal life. I'm a fan of this concept of your success twin. I learned that from Robin Sharma. Your success twin is a situation where you observe somebody who's doing very well in a particular area, someone you admire who's doing well in that area. When you identify this person, adopt this person as your success twin. They don't have to know it, but you can simply adopt them in your mind. Everybody's on social media nowadays. Follow them. See what they do. See where they spend their time. You oftentimes get to see what books they are reading. You often see who they're spending their time with, what content they put out, which helps you understand their thought process, their mindset at any given time. When you do this, that person becomes your kind of a reference point for you to see where you are, where you're going, and whether if you're still on the right track to where you want to go in your life. This becomes the benchmark that you use to try and measure yourself as you progress towards your goals and your dreams. So imitation can be a useful tool, and I'm not saying be copycats. I'm simply saying learn what they're doing right, adopt whatever works for you, and do it in your own originality.
And I like the way you put it, Wellington, when you began this. You said, I'm not telling you to be a copycat. I know you are originals. And that's very interesting because we all are unique. We all have our differences. But I think, in this day and age, a lot of us are very proud people in the sense of not wanting, this is who I am and this is how I'm going to do it. But if you take a moment to step back and, like you say, look at the people who are successful in whatever niche or whatever field that you want to put yourself in, figure out how they became successful, learn the different things that they've been able to implement, learning wisdom, getting that wisdom and taking it with you. It puts you back a moment and it allows you to see things in a completely different perspective and not looking at it just through who you are as a person, but what other people can actually benefit from taking from you once you learn.
That is so true. I don't believe that there's anything we want to do in this world that has never been done before. So sometimes all it takes for us to really understand how to do it is to find out who has done it before. And maybe we can do it a little bit better. We can find better ways of doing it. We can bring our own originality into it and we execute in our own way. And it becomes a unique delivery that is yours. But everything can be learned and it can be learned from another person. That's the power of imitation, okay? Now, the third one, which is a critical part, which features in the other two as well, is experience. They say experience is the best teacher. And they also say that hindsight is an exact science. In other words, the things we went through yesterday have the power to inform us how to live today better and the power to inform us how to move forward into tomorrow. That's experience. There is no substitute for experience. The thing is that we are all products of our experiences and we are unique in these experiences. What you go through, we may all go through a similar situation, a similar environment, but here's the thing, how you experience it may differ from how another person experiences it because we are unique individuals. How we perceive things, our worldview, the way we present ourselves and handle the situation may not be exactly the same. So our experiences may not be the same. And what's important about this is that the way we experience something becomes the lesson that we can take from that moment into the future. That is why it's important. I saw a saying the other day that says, be careful of a man who works hard to learn something, learns it, and then finds himself no wiser than he was before. Think about it. You want to learn something, you do your best, learn it, you get good at it. But after you're done learning, you're no wiser than you were before. What has happened there? You have lost the opportunity to benefit from your experience. And by learning, it could mean you learned and you failed. By learning, it could mean that you made some mistakes. By learning, it could mean that you did something so well that you became successful. But even after all of that, you've got to be wiser from it in order for you to then use that experience as a benchmark, as a launch pad for the next phase of your life. Experience is very, very critical.
Wellington, wow, this is some really deep stuff and some stuff that I'm absolutely loving this. And like you say, we all experience things and we all experience them differently because we are different, unique individuals. But I also would like to say, while we're talking about this, use those experiences to help you grow. Don't let them bring you down. I think a lot of us experience different things. Most of us have gone through so many bad things in life, but use those experiences to help you grow, to create those steps on that ladder that you want to see yourself go up. Use those experiences and allow the wisdom that you get from those experiences, which you have to extract yourself, to allow you to grow and move further, not to bring you down.
That is so true. And when you speak about uniqueness of individuals, we all have, different things, moving parts in our lives, different variables that make us who we are, that make our experiences unique and different. Embrace those variables. Run with them, because they are what informs who you are as a person. They are what informs your worldview, and they form a critical part of your experience of life in general. So we have to understand the differences, the variables that we're dealing with, and use those variables to inform us positively, and take that experience, that entire concoction that comes from dealing with different things, make that into the real medicine that is required to cure whatever challenges you face in the future.
Fantastic, Wellington. This has been such a great episode, and I know I've learned a lot from this. For those who are watching, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification button as well. And don't forget, if you feel like there's something that you don't understand or something that you've missed out on in this episode, you want clarification, or if you just have a question, reach out to Wellington. He's here. He has a well of inspiration. You can find him on the website, www.wellofinspiration.com. You can find him on Facebook as well as on Instagram as well. Well of Inspiration are the pages. And you can also comment below and we will be sure to get back to you. Before we wrap up, Wellington, today on the episode, what would you like our audience to know as your final word for this episode and what you've been talking about with wisdom?
You know what? Number one is the importance of wisdom. Number two is what wisdom is. Remember, it is the ability to think and act and be able to utilize your knowledge, experiences, common sense, your understanding, and your insights. That's very, very important. So bring all those things into play, and your wisdom is on a real good platform to be able to go to the next level. But most importantly, understand this. Wisdom will help you tolerate difficulties and handle them progressively. Wisdom will enable you to see the ups and the downs in very positive light, because you know that there is a possibility of doing so much better. Wisdom will be the channel that you can walk through to be able to move from where you are to the next level of success. I really believe that if we embrace wisdom, if we make the effort to become a little bit wiser for everything that we experience in our lives, we are setting ourselves for a better chance of becoming successful.
Wellington, thank you for making us a little bit wiser today.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Don.
Have a good one and we'll catch you the next time.
All right, you too. Take care.
Take care.